Adam Mickiewicz, poet, author, playwright, and national hero of Poland, is a man known little outside of his country. Yet, of that which is known to foreign audiences, and perhaps to many Poles as well, is only the proverbial tip of the iceberg. In this episode, we will explore the more intimate aspects of Mickiewicz's philosophical and religious views, and how he became a leading figure of the movement known as Polish Messianism. To begin with, Mickiewicz is so highly regarded in his own country that he is named as Poland's greatest romantic poet, according to the Polish Biographical Dictionary. Born in 1789 and dying in 1855, he lived at a dark time in Polish history. His lifelong activities as a Polish nationalist began in the early 1830s. He joined a secret society aimed at the restoration of Poland, based in the city of Wilno, which is now in Lithuania, but at that time the city had a strong Polish influence due to the legacy of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. He ended up fleeing Poland after the failure of the November Uprising, and stated that he would never return so long as his country was occupied. And like many émigrés, he went to France. It is there, in Paris, that he would end up writing many of his books, and where he would one day meet the pseudo-mystic Andrzej Tolianowski. Now, before covering his activities after this pivotal meeting, which occurred in 1840, we will be going more in depth as to his beliefs and affiliations before this, along with an examination of his major literary works, which were all written before that year. An archived article which originated from the traditional Catholic group Sodalitum will serve as an extensive reference in this part of the video due to the incredible level of information it holds about Mickiewicz and his affiliations. Monsignor Abbe Francisco Ricosa, author of the article Carol Adam Jacob, first presents some early history and points to the possibility that Mickiewicz was a Freemason as early as 1820. He says, quote, "In effect, the relations with Tolianowski were also of an occult type, or rather Masonic. Was Mickiewicz a Mason? From the beginning, in 1817, we see that he founded the secret society, the Philomaths. In 1820, he joined another secret society, the Philithares, which he speaks of in the third part of his 1833 book, Ancestors. Alas, I don't know if the Philithares have something to do with the Masonic lodges called Philithares. Whatever the case may be, these Polish secret societies were the replicas, and often the ally, of the Russian secret societies, a type of Slavic Kibanarism, which would give rise to the 1825 Decembrist revolt. The Tsarist government had recognized the hand of Masonry, and it is precisely because of this situation that it was made illegal in Russia. Elaborated also in this article is Mickiewicz's connection to French liberal Catholics, among the most infamous being Félicité de Lamennais. This man, whom as the Venerable Archbishop Lefebvre described as being rebellious against the Church and unfaithful to his priesthood, held as the basis for his belief system, quote, the myth of the progress of humanity, which is manifested by the growing aspirations of the peoples for liberty. That's a quotation from They Have Uncrowned Him on page 113. Let us see then how the same enthusiasm for quote-unquote liberty brought Mickiewicz and Lamennais together. Quote, above all, it is the reading of L'Essai sur l'Indifference, Essay on Indifference, by Lamennais, which, during his deportation from St. Petersburg, brought Mickiewicz closer to quote-unquote Catholicism. In 1831, Mickiewicz met the prophet of La Chesnée in Paris, and they became friends. They were nicknamed, with reason, the Pilgrims of the Future. Mickiewicz wrote to Lowell on May 23, 1832, quote, "Lamennais is the only Frenchman who has sincerely wept for us." End quote. Mickiewicz's work, The History of the Polish Nation and its Pilgrimage, 1832, was translated into French by Jansky, the future founder of the Resurrectionists, and by Count de Montalembert. The latter's name figures in the statement. The book spread among liberal Catholics. It was Montalembert and Lamennais who would choose the title of the French edition, that is, Livres des Païens Polonais. Montalembert wrote its preface, and Lamennais added his own Hymn to Poland. I recall that Lamennais' ideas, expressed in his journal, L'Avenir, had already been condemned by Gregory XVI in his August 15, 1832 encyclical Morari Vos, but the Pope, hoping that he would turn away from his errors, had refrained from naming the unfortunate priest. However, what caused Lamennais to fall into the abyss, which led him into apostasy, was the brochure that Mickiewicz had given him. Lamennais, quote, had admired Mickiewicz's booklet. Such a pure expression of the faith and liberty in one place is a marvel in our servile and unbelieving century. He said that he had begun editing a little book, strongly analogous, but for lack of firm commitment, he did not pursue it. Reading the Pilgrim's manuscript was the spark that ignited him. He imitated its biblical and visionary style, and imported its parabolic structure in Words of a Believer. He knew about the letter that Maurice de Guérin wrote to his friend, Hippolyte de la Morvanne, dated May 10, 1834, about the three works of Monseigneur de Lamennais and Silvio Peculo, My Prisons, which had appeared one after the other. A terrible trilogy, 3 sledgehammers, and from Catholic men, pure men, holy men. Thus, with this background in mind, we will go on to examine Mickiewicz's writings, including, and with special attention given to, the books and pilgrimage of the Polish people, a book that was filled with anything but a quote-unquote pure expression of the faith.